Hello, people. This is Spirified Soldier. Some of you out there who have been on my channel and seen my videos in the past, you know me as Spirified Soldier. I changed my channel name, and I made a separate channel called Spirified Soldier, and I'll be putting Spiritfire videos on there. And the original channel I'm going to use for, it's my personal channel, so I'll just, you know, do what's appropriate for that. Anyway, um, I've been gone for a while. According to the last time I put up a video on my channel, according to YouTube, it was 2 years ago. When I think back, I'm like, man, was it 2 years? It didn't feel like maybe a year, but I guess it was 2 years. And time flies. But anyway, the last thing I remember discussing was femininity. Okay, and the good and the bad surrounding that. And I've been gone a while, so as I look at other people's videos and hear what they're saying, I'm getting this idea that YouTube don't like certain words to be said or certain topics to be discussed. And a couple years back, when I uploaded videos on my channel, I've been experiencing some strange stuff, and it made me wonder if I was getting suppressed. And I really can't prove it, but I also can't ignore it. You know what I mean? Like, I just get the sense that they were suppressing me or whatever. And there's a lot of stuff going on social media back then, to the point where I felt overloaded and felt like I felt like my sanity was in danger, you know. So I decided I'm just gonna shut everything off and just go away for a while. And I wasn't sure if I was gonna come back. I wasn't sure about it. And I talked to a few people I knew personally on YouTube and Twitter about it, and everyone encouraged me to stay on. And I'm not a quitter, you know. I don't give up easily. But I just felt like I just need to go away, shut this all off, because what it comes down to is this is a lot of crazy people out there, and there really is no fixing them. That's just how they're gonna be. And that's one of the things I needed to not realize. I knew that, but I needed to take action on that fact that, you know, people aren't going to change. You just can't fix it. The only way people are going to change and become better people is if they fix themselves. And my whole reason for uploading YouTube videos on YouTube in the first place is because I wanted to provide media as a tool to help people fix themselves. You know, and there's some things I've learned in life in doing that. Like, you can't you can tell a person that they're wrong. You can't tell a person that they're stupid, or you can tell a person what's wrong with them. You can point it out. You could call it out, but it's up to them to change. And so 2 years ago, I realized that the more and more you take action to fight against the the flaws of humanity, let's say, the more and more you start falling into what appears to be, how should I put this? You start falling into the area of enforcing your ideas on other people, um, enforcing your opinions, whatever, like telling people how they're supposed to live and how they're supposed to be. When the truth of the matter is, everyone has their own opinion, everyone has their own personal right, everyone deserves their right to live the way they want to live and be how they want to be. So that, I mean, that puts everybody in a funky situation, because so the way some people choose to live, or the way some people choose to be, it affects other people. Okay, and we're just not gonna agree. Okay, so when I inspect the internet, YouTube, Twitter, whatever, I don't bother with Twitter anymore. It's, I won't even talk about that garbage. But when I examine things on the internet, I see that's where everything is going. Let's force people to think a certain way. Let's force people to be a certain way. Uh, let's re-educate people with our agenda and our opinions and our politics. And, that's what's going on. You don't want to fall into that. You don't want to fall into that camp. And I did my best not to fall into it. Some people may disagree, but I'm not out to force people to be any kind of way or think any kind of way or nothing. It's just, hey, this is what I'm offering. Here you go. Use what you can use. Leave out the rest. Take it or leave it. It doesn't matter to me. Um, One thing I noticed that, like, of course, when you express yourself and you speaking on what you believe to be true, it may be what I call actual truth. Actual truth. Um, it may be the defining truth, like the reality of it all, not just what someone experienced for himself, or what they personally think, but the actual reality of it all. It may be that, but then people are gonna come at you and be like, "Hey, well, that's your truth. That's not mine." You know. Above all, humanity is complicated. Personally, I don't like humanity. You know, I can love or hate or like or dislike people on an individual basis, but as a whole, humanity's messed up. Um, I I personally think humanity's not worth saving, but upon having that kind of attitude, become fatalistic. And I don't want to be fatalistic, but that's how I perceive humanity. I think humanity's just doomed. I don't think we're going anywhere. And if you notice, like, it seemed like the '90s was the last of modern day culture. It seemed like soon as 1999 was over, poof, no more culture. You know, it seems everything seems the same ever since then. Ever since like 2000, it seemed like we're stuck in the year 2000 over and over and over again, and it's been like that for the last 20 years now. And I think it's just bad. It feels like we're in a state of purgatory. You know, humanity ain't getting anywhere. Humanity is going nowhere, and the only thing that seems to progress, it's not people, it's not culture, it's not community, it's not any of it. The only thing that seems to be progressing is technology. And even in that area, technology I wouldn't say in all cases, but in some cases it's just garbage. It feels like that's not even progressing. But if anything is progressing, it is technology. And so I don't know if there's a term for it. I want to say technocratic, but that's probably wrong. Um, it seems like we're headed into a world where only technology matters. And we got all this weirdness and bizarro stuff going on, and everything just seems backwards. Everything seems whack, crazy, just just terrible, no good for nobody. And it's taking over the media, taking over what's left of human culture. It's going nowhere. That's how I see it. You may agree, you may disagree. Um, so like the video game called Cyberpunk came out, right? Cyberpunk is a genre I'm familiar with from back in the day. A lot of people today probably aren't familiar with the genre. There's a lot of younger generations and such, but from my generation or older, you know what cyberpunk's all about, right? And this is what I noticed. Like, it seems like that's where we're headed. Actually, if you think about it, it seems like that's where we're headed. Where the only answer to all the problems in humanity as a whole, or on an individual basis, it seemed like the only solution now is technology. Okay, like anytime there's a situation, if I talk to an individual, say, hey, I'm dealing with this such and such problem or whatever, I always get this, and it really bothers me because it means that humans have lost the ability to connect with one another. I don't think this for everyone, but I think there's a great deal of people in the world that have lost the ability to connect with another human being, or they never developed it. Okay, but they always tell me, hey, try this app, try that app. Oh, here's a great app you could use for this particular situation. Here's a great app you could use for this particular problem. And it's like, what? So you mean to tell me all I have to do is get on the iPhone, find a certain app, and my problems are solved? And it don't even necessarily have to be a problem. It's just with any situation, that's the answer. Use a phone app. Try this app. Use that app. Here's the app for you. So basically it's like saying humans do not need humans anymore. We do not need to bond and communicate and connect with one another anymore. We have these machines called iPhones, smartphones. I meant the whole time I meant to say smartphone, whatever, you know. And I think that's sad. The these smartphones they're rarely used as phones. It just uses portable personal computers. And as I look around, I don't see anyone calling each other. They're not, hey, because you don't have to. You just text each other, you know, you text. And even with me, when I get a call from my phone, I just think it's weird. Like, who's calling me? Because no one calls each other anymore. They call them smartphones, but the phone aspect of the smartphone, it seems darn near obsolete. And humanity is facing, humanity seems to be becoming obsolete. But anyway, the point is like my channel is the kind of stuff I want to talk about because it needs to be talked about. We live in a society where people like to pretend like these things aren't a problem or these things aren't happening. And part of the reason, one part of the reason is because they like to ignore it and don't care, or it's too scary or bothersome or whatever, too troublesome for them to handle or think about. Which I call ignorance or lazy thinking. And then the other half is that people actually just don't know because for them it's the norm, which pretty much hints to the fact that the younger generations are populating the earth and the older generations are fading out, and there's a whole new paradigm going on, and the younger generations have no connection to their history, and that in itself is a very troubling and spooky fact about the world we live in today. So, on my channel, I try to talk about this stuff, and it gets deep. I never wanted to be on YouTube to be superficial and talk about stuff that don't really matter. As I search through YouTube, I see a lot of that going on, and that's people's prerogative. That's what they want to produce. That's on them. That's more power to them. That's them. But that's not what I'm into, and I don't want to gravitate to that, nor do I want to produce that sort of thing. I don't want to follow the mainstream. I was never on YouTube to be about the mainstream. I was always about the road less traveled. So I'm just here to tell you that's pretty much what my channel's about. Not just this one, but any of the ones I have. I'll present I'll present my content in different ways depending on the channel. I'm just because I was trying to do everything on one channel, and I'm gonna partition everything, if that makes any sense. So that's that. Another thing is I'd like to continue where I left off, and that's what I began with before I started talking about this other stuff. But I want to talk about femininity, because that seems to be one of the major major issues in the modern day world right now. And I started talking about that. That's what I pretty much started with, aside from the Star Wars stuff, is that and some other things. But after this, I'm gonna do a video talking about that, and hopefully the females out there will understand where I'm coming from. Because the last time I discussed this, a lot of females, it seemed like, and this is what I discovered just from using Twitter alone, but a lot of them didn't understand where I was coming from, and I could tell they didn't understand because they decided to target me as an enemy and act as if I hate females and I'm against females. So that's not it at all. But I'll cover that in the next video. But for now, everyone, be safe. Uh, use your brain. Be smart about things. These are some dark times, and just be careful out there and protect yourselves. Be as safe as you can from the virus and such. And everyone have a wonderful day or night, and enjoy your lives. Peace out.